nowadays, most professional sports require you to wear a mask.
My favorite team sport. My favorite team sport is also a solo sport. Track and field, easily my favorite middle school sport. Probably high school sport too. I love track and field. It is true that each of the events are typically run by one person, but at the end of the day, right, your whole team is a team and you get points based on that, and that's how your school wins or doesn't win, based on points on how everyone performs. So it is still technically a team sport, even though it's often considered a individual sport. How has COVID affected it? Well, we're not having it this year. We won't resume sports until the 2021-22 school year, starting with volleyball, at least at this point. So basically, COVID has eliminated it as far as like public school sports is gone. The question of whether or not sports should have happened is a difficult one. There's many benefits to being, physically active, seeing other people, all that kind of stuff. But the question of how to do it safely is always going to be there during our pandemic, right? It's not just the safety of the students, but also their coaches' families, the players' families, and because that's how virus works, right? It just spreads from person to person. While the athletes themselves might not be a huge risk, they might take it back to grandparents, people in the public, I don't know. So since we didn't have a clear resolution, I think the safest bet was to not have them. Does it hurt to not have them? Yes, but sometimes you got to sacrifice stuff for the safety of everyone or the masses, right?
Sports struggle to reopen because of maintaining a certain distance between each player.
Question for you today. The first question is, do you think sports should or shouldn't have started back up? I think sports shouldn't have started back up because COVID can spread easily, and with more people getting COVID, we can't really find a solution to stop this quarantine thing. Question number 2, do you think COVID has affected sports in a good or bad way? I think it has been in the middle. Sports like the NFL or NBA has opened up and people have fun watching it, so I guess it's a plus side. In a bad way, people have a chance of catching COVID, so that's why it's bad. Question number 3 is, what do you think the reputation of sports will look like after the pandemic has ended? I think it will change sports in how what we do after the game, because there's a crew always cleaning up like the floor, the field, and with that, the dangers.
Because of COVID, most sports require players to do the sport outside. Sport, and how has COVID affected it?
Well, I don't really have a favorite sport, but I would say as a sport idea would be martial arts. I do that for a bit. And how it affected it? Well, kind of like the usual restrictions. It stopped for a while. It probably is going to go back up again. That's what I would say.
Okay. Do you think COVID has affected sports in a good or bad way?
I think it affected it in kind of both ways. For example, I think our people kind of usually watch sports too much. Haven't had so much time with other people outside, And if it stopped, there was that. But also, bad-wise, they're not going to get enough credit, enough money, or just example like that. It kind of affected it in that way. Yeah.
Do you think sports should continue happening?
Yes, I do think it should happen because it's a way of living. It could be applicable to a lot of things in life for your future, jobs, and it's also really good for physical-wise. All right.
Thanks for watching.